Hey guys, welcome to this video where we are going to talk about content outsourcing. Now, Perrin has told you earlier, and I do agree with him, that you should definitely write the first 10 blog posts on your website. It allows you to get to know the niche. It allows you to, get a feel for the products and what is good and what is bad, and overall build a better site. And, with the understanding you get of the niche, probably make more money in the end. However, we are talking about building a 50-page website. And to be frank, I just don't see myself writing 50 pages about golfing. So that's why I decided to outsource some content, and I think a lot of you guys will want to outsource some content. FYI, it's been something like a week and a half since I've recorded the last video. And some of the content for Skill Golf is actually coming in, and that is some of the outsourced content that we got. Best drivers for seniors. So remember the sitemap, well, now it is actually a real article, formatted, etc. I'm going to walk down, the formatting and the on-page stuff in the next lesson, but I just wanted to show you that I have been able to outsource some content pretty successfully. Now, this is a newbie course, so I'm not going to be teaching you how to hire people and manage them, etc., because that is something that is pretty advanced. It does take a lot of time, and most importantly, there is a steep learning curve. So if you're looking for quick return on investment, that is not the best way to do it. However, if you want to do this in the long run and make this your career, then yeah, you're gonna need to be hiring teams of writers and manage them yourself, etc. It's usually the best bang for your buck, and it also is the best way to get the highest quality content. We covered that in Authority Hacker Pro, so if you're looking to learn that kind of stuff, you should also join Authority Hacker Pro. Today we're gonna talk about the easy 80-20 solutions. What gets you, something that's good enough without having the hassle of managing a team. And in that case, that's what I did on Skill Golf, because I did not want to build a team for that site. Mostly it is a case study site for us. I know a lot of people will copy us, and I have no idea if we're going to keep going with that site or not after. I think I'll decide 6 months after this course comes out. Anyway, I wanted something that's decent, something that can make me money, something that, doesn't make me ashamed to show to people in an outreach. But at the same time, I did not want to manage a team. So what did I do? Well, first thing I did is I went on Textbroker. Textbroker is essentially a marketplace for content writers. So you can just submit your briefs and you get content back. And it's a pretty cheap marketplace. It's not the cheapest. I mean, there are things like iWriter out there, etc. But that's the minimum threshold in terms of quality that I found in terms of what I like. And in terms of pricing, they charge. I recommend you get the 4-star rating all the time. It's kind of like good enough. Like, it's some of their best writers, but the 7.2 cents per word is really expensive. It really adds up a lot. So that is what I got, for example, for these best drivers for seniors. And I'll put some samples of content we got from Textbroker in a raw format below, so you get an idea of what you get back when you buy from them. This is formatted already, but this is not edited. I literally changed nothing to that page, just copy pasted and formatted it. But they were able to put that together, and I think that one is 1,800 words and cost me $43 at a 4-star thing. And to be frank, it is a page that could deserve to rank for best drivers for seniors. There is not that much competition out there. And all I had to do is use the briefs that we gave you in the previous lessons. And actually, I'm going to log on my member area dashboard. Use the briefs that we gave you in a previous lesson. And then when create order, you can see I have a bunch of orders still underway. So I went to create order. And then I did an open order. And essentially what I did is now I have my best X4Y template. But what you do is you pick the general template. You know what? Let's just pick the general template just to show you. And essentially you put all the stuff. So quality level, 4 stars, word count. We give it to you. In that case, I did 1,500 to 1,800, I think, for the roundup review. Project folder, I made a project. I called it Skill Golf. You can actually do that in your projects here if you want to group stuff. Category, I put sports. So you put whatever matches more what you're doing. If you want keywords in your content, then you can put them here. For some reason, it's not loading. Let me just reload. Here we go. So let me just change it again. Skill Golf, sports, we're good. Then you put your title. The title is essentially what people are going to be using to identify what the topic is about. So in that case, put what are the best golf driver for seniors. Let's copy that, paste it. If you want some keywords, when you've done your keyword research, if you've found extra keywords you want in the content, you can just put it there. So in that case, I put best drivers for seniors. And usually 2 to 3 times is actually good for inside that long of a content. And if you want several keywords, you can put it in there, and the authors will have to include them in there. And you can see you get a cost estimate. So in that case, these roundup articles cost me $43.2, $43.5 with the service fee. And then here your brief, essentially take the brief that Perrin made for you, either for the roundup review or for the single product review or for the skyscraper content, whichever makes most sense for whatever you hire or you're ordering. And essentially you just click continue and then you add your order, and that's it. I didn't put a briefing, but essentially you just add it up. Then once you have that, you will essentially in your dashboard have your orders. So you can see in that case, it works that way. And it says available to authors. Essentially, people can pick it up and write it for you. Because it's an open order, it can be any writer on TextBroker. But what happens is when someone did actually a good job, what I did is I created a team. So I went into authors, I went into teams, and I created a team. In that case, I called it skillgolf.com. And what I did is you can put the price per word there. So I just put it I think 10 cents more, like 1 cent more than the 4-star cost. So it's a little bit better for authors to actually write for me than it is to write for open orders. So I did that. And I said it's a private team. And if people want to apply, basically they just explain to me how they are a good golf writer. And I created that team. And essentially, what happened is every time I had a good article come back, some would be good, some would be less good because it's different writers. I invited this writer into my Skill Golf team. And what happens is now I'm putting half of my orders into my team. So I know who is writing because I've selected these writers from the best that have submitted my open orders. And so I know the quality is going to be good. So the guy that wrote that actually I thought was pretty good. I think the intro was a little bit weak, but otherwise the rest was really good. And you can see formatted, it feels good. It feels like a great page. So I hired him and he wrote a dozen articles for us. And, all of these are actually available for him. These are open orders. So you can see I put a few more open orders here and there so that I can recruit more writers. But so far I have 2 writers in my team. And if you're going to be using TextBroker, I recommend you do that. Every time you get a really good article, what you can do as well is you can tip the people. So to lure the authors in my team, what I've done is, I think this guy, is once they submit a good article, I'm clicking on their name and I'm tipping them. Usually I was tipping them $10. So I click on the little dollar sign here at $10 and send them the bonus. And then I invite them to my team. So people are quite excited. They get paid a little bit more per word, but I give random bonuses when they deliver good work. And you can see that guy pretty much always goes over the word count. So he gives me 1,841 words. We can check a bunch that he's done. You can see in that case, he did 2,090 words. He essentially writes for free after 1,800 words. So, because I've kept him motivated, he's actually really working hard. You can see this one went as far as 2,200 words, despite the fact I paid for 1,800 words. So, tipping these kind of people once in a while is actually a good idea. And building your team is the key to actually do well on TextBroker. You can do pretty well, and the prices are very competitive if you do it properly. Just accept that at the beginning, since you're doing open orders, some of them will be less good than others. That's part of using a marketplace. But as a counterpart, you get a really competitive pricing. It is really good in terms of pricing. Also know that if you want high quality content, you will probably need to edit the content a little bit. So I have not done that on Skill Golf, and I have been lucky. I've had pretty good writers so far, but sometimes the content will be average. And if that's the case, then you will need to edit it. So you can just copy the content when it's done and put it in a Google Doc. You can see I've done that already. So let me just open one of these. And essentially, I recommend before you move it to WordPress, you edit it. It's you read everything and you make sure there's no problem with it, no countersens, etc. Normally they check the grammar and so on, but it can be imperfect. It's just raw material. If you want your site to be really amazing, you will need to put a little bit of work into it. But that's the game, and it's pretty cheap for the amount of work these people put in. You see, this guy has been researching all the golf clubs and wrote a proper buying guide and looked at the different materials, etc. It is a little bit of work. I think it was pretty good for what I paid. So that is TextBroker, guys. That is how I created 99% of the best X for Y on Skill Golf, and it cost me a little bit of money. You can see in that case, I think I spent $1,000 for a Actually, there is some health ambition stuff as well. You can see we also use it for health ambition a little bit here. So, something like $800 so far, I think. I think that's not too bad. Now, another content service that I'm going to recommend, and I'm only going to recommend two, is World Agents. World Agents is actually a content marketing agency. So it's not a platform, it's not a marketplace like Text Broker is. And it's for the people that care less about money and care more about time and having a proper project manager. So the main difference with Text Broker is that unlike Text Broker, where I need to essentially manage everything, like, some of these things are like not picked up by authors and might not be, so I need to resubmit them and, do some work essentially and be the project manager. Well, World Agents is the project manager for you. They just give you one single point of contact, an account manager, and you talk to him and you send him the list of keywords that you want to target, plus the briefs, and you can see they do product reviews, they do all of that, and they do it pretty well. I mean, Perrin's been using them for all of his sites and has been doing really well. So they cost a little bit more. I think they cost 4.5 cents per word versus 2.4 cents for our Text Broker, so it's something like 70% more. So it does cost more money. However, the quality of the content is on average higher, I would say. Like on Text Broker, you can get some terrible ones and you can get some really good ones. If you do a good job building your team, then you can, on average, would get mostly really good ones on Text Broker, but it's going to take you time and money, etc. If you want to get that right away, then I would go for World Agents. And actually, they are writing all the single product reviews on SkillGolf, and they are writing all the skyscraper type content on SkillGolf as well. So you can see I'm mixing up both of them, And actually, if you want the best deal for your site, maybe the content you care most about, you can send it to World Agents. The content that, is, very formatted types of posts, like we have for the best drivers for seniors, it's really like not rocket science. There's a little bit of a buying guide, then there's a list of products. Then you can send it to Text Broker if you want, and that works pretty well. So if you want to check both of them, there is textbroker.com. You can just sign up, deposit money with PayPal, and essentially use the marketplace, and it's pretty good. And if you want to get in touch with World Agents for maybe more advanced content, for also less hassle, it's going to save you a lot of time eventually in management. And you can focus on things like link building that we're going to talk about later, and more keyword research and growing your site more. So my personal recommendation is to use a mix of both if you want the best bang for your buck. If you have less time and more money, go for World Agents primarily. If you have less money but more time, go for Text Broker primarily. That is what I recommend you go for. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next lesson.